Traders, welcome to this Forex trading week ahead analysis video with me, John Kibler, senior market analyst here at Blueberry Markets. Well, one end of the week we had in the markets, we had a huge uptick in the non-farm employment change. We were expected to see a figure below 200k, and we didn't get that. We actually had a 272k announcement, up from the previous revised down figure of 165k. But we saw an uptick in average hourly earnings as well at 0.4%. But we did see a slight uptick in the unemployment rate, and this really pushed those rate expectations back now. We were expecting downside in the labour market would support the theory that the Federal Reserve will begin to cut interest rates maybe in September. That has been pushed back significantly now. I think rate cuts from the Fed CME watch tool are suggesting that the sort of definite cut is now going to be more towards November, which is super interesting now. And the dollar gained significant strength off the back of this. And I think purely from the fact that it was a surprise miss to the upside. We're still seeing an unemployment rate coming up. We're still seeing revised figures downwards. So I don't know whether that would be a move that we can see lasting, but we'll have a little look going into this week. Obviously, there is some more dollar data that could support that. If we see any kind of upticks in core CPI month on month or even CPI year on year, if we see a move more towards the 4% in CPI, then this federal funds rate decision coming into September is going to be in doubt. We're expecting a hold at 5.5% this week from the FOMC. I don't see any kind of changes here, to be honest, going into this meeting. I think if we saw a shock figure, large increase in unemployment, significant decrease in the NFP change, then yeah, maybe there could have been something on the cards for July, but this is not the one in June. So definitely going to see a hold this week. I'm expecting the Fed to maybe even talk about the data continuing to perform pretty well, though. So that might just be what they may claim to be an outlier. But the data that follows it's also going to give us a bit of an insight as well. We've got core PPI and PPI month on month. So we're expecting a little bit more downside in those types of figures. And again, that will support the Fed going into sort of September, November, but November being priced in now. The other bit of data I think we've got to keep our eyes on is the Bank of Japan. A lot of hawkish comments coming out of Bank of Japan members this past couple of weeks, so expecting maybe some movement on the Japanese yen. Going on the currency strength meter then, so since some significant changes, I've updated this completely now. We're seeing a little bit of increase in the Swiss franc, the US dollar actually coming out being a fairly strong currency as well. We're seeing a little bit of a decline in other currencies, including the Great British pound, as well as the likes of the New Zealand dollar. So going on to the US dollar index. So this is a chart with the left-hand side being the US dollar index weekly chart, and on the right-hand side, we've got a weekly US 10-year bond yields. And I thought that bond yields below 4.35% would be pretty tricky for the US dollar. I expected some downside off the back of that. Price has held, though. We've held above 4.35%. Looking at the US dollar index weekly chart on the left-hand side, that was a hold above that key 104 handle. And now we're coming back towards that 105. So if we can breach 105s, then maybe the market is going to support this move and the dollar could continue to drive higher. Any misses CPI to the upside, not supporting that Fed decision, potentially pushing federal funds rate cuts back again, that will support dollar strength and a move towards that 107, which is something we've talked about for a while, could be on the cards here above the 50 MA here as well on the weekly time frame. So how does that shape up for a lot of the major currency pairs then? Well, euro US dollar remains range bound between key 1.09 and that 1.0 sort of 8 handle. Quite interesting this week. week, we had two large option expiry levels at these 2 points. Market has continued to stay range bound, even with ECB interest rate decision as well, which managed to drive prices into that 1.09 handle. So we've got a weekly chart on the left-hand side, daily chart on the right-hand side here. And you can see we're just ranging between those two levels right now. You know, I like range support, so you could see some short-term buying off of here after last week's momentum. However, if we did see momentum continue, then price could come down towards that 1.0750 handle. Going on to dollar CAD then. So, boy, I was wrong about dollar CAD. I thought 1.36 would be the level to give up, especially if the dollar data sort of continued to show weakness. That wasn't the case in the end. Started to see a little bit of strength in that dollar now, and we're starting to breach all these highs. So maybe we are going to see the weekly range high of 1.39 being tested now for dollar CAD. Going on to Kiwi dollar then. So did like shorts on Kiwi dollar up at 0.62. We pointed this out a couple of weeks ago. That would have been targets for me from any kind of longs at 0.59 handle. Actually got short 0.62. So the NFP played out pretty well for me. Breached out this trend line support as well, and this kind of range that we was seeing climbing towards that key level of resistance. You know, if we can get below this kind of 0.6075 handle and below, maybe price might want to go and check out this volume area down towards 0.625. So keep an eye on that going into next week. So that's all I've got for you this trading week. I hope you have a great trading setup this week. I'm going to go over some key data coming up as well. I'm also doing a strategy webinar on Tuesday, and I'll give you the details as soon as I got them. So hopefully you can join me there as well. We'll talk about some interesting topics, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Have a great trading week.